family survive?
No.
I already asked that question.
Unfortunately, from my immediate family, nobody survived. In other words, my parents, my mother, my father, and my sister, my twin sister, they were murdered the same day when we arrived at the death camp in concentration camp Majdanek.
Come back here.
But after the war, I found that out of over 150 family members, extended ones, 4 cousins remained alive.
Oh wow, he didn't say that before. We didn't get the answer before, remember? Okay.
Okay, I'll ask one.
All right.
Why don't you ask me about my faith?
Oh, ask him about his faith.
Who is he talking to?
He's talking to us.
He said he like Christ. I mean, he said he
Ask
believes
him the
in
question
God.
he wants you to ask. Just ask the
Ask him about
question.
his faith.
Wait, what did I say?
Tell me about your faith.
That probably was from God. Cause I thought we were supposed to press you. He told.
Press the button and ask him.
Okay. Go ahead.
Tell me about your faith.
Can you tell us about your faith?
I do not have an answer for that.
But you just said,
Tell me about your faith.
I practice my religion today based on what I believe is a kind of compromise in the actual faith. I regard myself as being Orthodox, and I am a cantor in my synagogue. On the Sabbath, I walk to shul and I walk back. But if it's absolutely necessary, I will drive in a car, which is not really allowed. Which means that I practice a way of religious life based on certain compromises that I have made with God, actually. As I told you before, you know, I have this account with Him, and I believe that it's in my favor. The account is in my favor. You know, yet, you know, it's still in my favor, and that He must allow me to take some of these liberties. So I'm a modern Orthodox Jew that does not fulfill all the mitzvot, you know, the beliefs and practices that you know, fully observant Jews do, or especially Hasidim or ultra-Orthodox. I kind of found my own way.
Very good. We're gonna wrap up. You have one more question? Go ahead.
Did you go to school?
I believe so.
You believe so?
Thank you.
I didn't even finish.
I went to school before the war,
You know how to talk.
and I learned how to read and write, and I learned the Chumash and the Torah and the Talmud. And during the war, I studied for about 6 months also religious tracts, not anything else, because we were forbidden. It was all done in secret. And when I was liberated after the war, many years later, after I was already married, I went to a grown-up school to get a certificate of education, because I was hoping that maybe one day I will be a person who will be able to go to university and learn. But I already was married and I already was having a child. So I went in England to the London University, you know, older people who didn't study when they were young because I hadn't studied anything. And eventually I finished what they called a general certificate of education, which did not allow you to go to university because it was a low certificate, because I couldn't, you know, go further. My money ran out and I couldn't continue studying, and I had to start working. So that's all the education that I had. And subsequently, I educated myself by voraciously almost living in libraries. That's where I learned most of the things that I know today is from libraries.